Good evening and thanks for being here. I'm Joe Smith. The mayor of Vancouver is breaking glass and taking names. From Grand Isle to Charlotte, they have already been doing searches along that way.
And all of these machines work 3 shifts, 5 days a week, each producing 120 pair of socks a day.
Flipping homes for the good of the community, but why not everyone can buy them? Once you're gone, what happens to your online digital footprint? The smoke has changed dramatically now to white, a good indication that they have this under control. After today, the company will no longer provide health care for striking workers.
There is a lot of screaming, a lot of interrupting, a lot of back and forth. Is this really for him about influence going forward, knowing that he's not going to be the nominee?
Continuing coverage now on the ongoing Fairpoint strike. After today, the company will no longer provide health care for striking workers. If someone wins, it will be a life changer, and they'll find out how many new relatives they have.
And I understand that there is a red Solo cup around that area as well. I'm not saying I don't know what's in it.
You would know.
And
You're the expert
Jason
on
Bateman, Justine Bateman, brother and sister.
Okay. Family ties.
Just had to.
Yes.
Just
Nicole
had to clear.
Richie's father.
Nicole Richie's father.
Kevin Bacon. A big night, as you heard, in Burlington politics. Republican frontrunner Donald Trump in Burlington at the Flynn, a night he won't forget. A not-so-warm welcome for the presidential frontrunner. We have team coverage. Stacey De Silva has reaction from the protesters outside. But we begin tonight with Lauren Maloney. She's live downtown with a wrap-up of what Donald Trump had to say. Lauren. We want to start first with the fact that New York State Police is advising residents in New York to stay indoors and to turn your lights on. This was a phone advisory that was sent out just moments ago. This is due to the 2 escaped inmates from Dannemora, New York.
And are more helicopters in the area right now in that search for David Sweat? We begin with breaking news. Around 6:30 tonight, Colchester police received a call of a boat crash on Mallett's Bay. 1 person injured, another is missing. Megan Carpenter is live in Burlington's North End right now. A lot of police presence. We don't have an awful lot on what exactly went on, but we did hear earlier that there were some shots fired. Megan? With an investigation now underway into a shooting near St. Michael's College. First on Local 22 News, Colchester police continuing their search for a shooter who left 1 man in the hospital this morning. Good evening. Thanks for being here. I'm Joe Smith. Chief Meteorologist Sean Parker is here. He's tracking this huge storm, and it's gonna be a wallop. This weekend's upcoming storm has prompted flight cancellations and delays across the country. At Burlington International Airport, several flights to and from D.C. and Philadelphia airports are affected. Local 22's Alexandra Leslie is live at BTV with the very latest. It will be a busy place over the next few days. Alexandra. New York is also taking steps to ensure they're well prepared for the storm. Governor Andrew Cuomo says they're organizing plows, salt, and National Guard troops in anticipation of what's to come.
You hope for the best and you prepare for the worst.
Tonight's other big story we're following, a contagious illness is spreading at Bellows Free Academy in Fairfax. Hundreds of students and staff have called out from school. Local 22's Christine Souders is here now with what could be causing everyone to get sick. Christine.
As a young adult woman, I want to feel safe.
Reaction to sex offender Richard Laws coming to Burlington was immediate.
The idea is to keep them from reoffending, and living homeless is not a way to assure that. And I have 2 daughters, and I feel very strongly about that.
Laws served his time, convicted 23 years ago for the kidnapping, raping, and leaving a woman for dead. She survived. His release date is set for Thursday, April 9th. Barrie and Montpelier police strongly urged Laws to live elsewhere.
Very short notice.
Sergeant Michael Warren with the Chittenden Unit for Special Investigations tells us late Wednesday, the Burlington Police Department was notified by DOC. Laws decided to call the Queen City home.
It does not give us a whole lot of ability to get the notification out to the people.
Burlington police are hustling to get the word out.
We've put together flyers that we're handing around to the downtown businesses and some of the shelters and trying to notify people the best way we can.
Laws' anticipated move to Burlington is already a topic of conversation on social media. When Laws arrives, it will be difficult for him to take advantage of some social services. He's not welcome at COTS. No sex offenders can stay there. And because Laws did not complete his treatment while in prison, he won't be eligible to room at a new place, a shelter for men on North Street.
Anytime somebody's homeless, it raises a lot of concerns about how we're going to verify that they're in compliance with the sex offender registry, so that it's very difficult.
Laws is required to check in daily with the sex offender registry, now an added burden for Burlington police.
We're still going to be stuck with trying to, keep an eye on this person who's considered very likely to reoffend and a high risk.
Despite the early morning fog, it was clear everything was in place, and it was time for the big move of this 3,400-ton stretch of the Sellwood Bridge. Tom Grant from Lake Oswego came out for this history-making photo op. He and his wife have been following the bridge move's progress for over a year.
It's a huge endeavor to plan and make something this complex come off without a hitch.
Hey, where else are you going to see a bridge that wide being moved?
Not too many places. It's one of the longest bridge parts ever moved.
How is this going to happen?
The 1,100-foot truss span must move in an exact straight line.
We're using some lasers to keep it aligned. We're also using GPS to check that. And then we're using basically tape measures.
It will take about 12 hours to make the journey.
Revolutionary.
Amazing.
Spectacular.
Slow.
It probably looks as though the bridge isn't moving very fast, but on average it's moving 3/4 of an inch a minute. And by the end of the day, it will be docked with the Detour Bridge. The idea for a Detour Bridge came from the engineering company Omega Morgan out of Hillsboro. It will save up to $10 million on this $307 million project. Jamie Kopp's husband, Josh, is the foreman.
He's actually on this first pier right here. So he's the one that been setting up all the track and everything to get it to move. So it's been awesome.
The big move has become an event, a celebration starting at the Oaks Pioneer Church just up the street. It's where neighbors are getting a quick lesson in engineering.
You just push the old one to the side and build the new one in its place, tear the old one down. It's as easy as that.
Sure it is. And for businesses that rely on bridge traffic to the Sellwood area say they can bridge that gap.
We all think that a week is a pretty short period of time, so we can weather that.
A short-term inconvenience for what will be a permanent improvement just 2 more years down the road that drivers say they'll be ready to cross that bridge when they come to it. Joe Smith, KGW News Channel 8. Some shop owners say it's a scary place to do business. One business has moved out already, while others say they aren't giving up just yet. Brandon Anderson, manager at Ground Control in Old Town, didn't expect this, another car break-in.
Never had to do that before.
Across the street, doing business in Old Town got to be too much for John Cloud.
So it was just, it's kind of a messy place down here. So,
After 2 years, Cloud closed his record shop and moved it to 28th and Northeast Flanders. Drug dealing, parking, and abusive street people were factors.
It really was a day-to-day kind of like battle in that sort of way.
Old Town Chinatown is one of the city's busiest areas. High traffic with specialty shops, restaurants, social service agencies, and low-income housing.
Probably the city of Portland and the Portland Police Bureau bring more resources to bear, in this general area than probably per capita or per square foot than anywhere else in the city of Portland.
Some businesses, including Hamburger Mary's owners, want to see more police presence here.
When you have more police on the streets, you tend to have less crime.
Since moving to Old Town 10 months ago, co-owner Ian Cook says crime has escalated.
We're dealing with drug deals, crack smoking, drug usage openly in daylight, which baffles me.
Police say they're working with shop owners on a plan.
It'll help them be able to conduct their business and help us be able to respond effectively to the problems that they have.
Meanwhile, more investment is being made in the area by the Portland Development Commission.
There's been between 20 and 30 million that's been invested over the last 5 years.
And more to come when the Old Grove Hotel on Burnside gets a rehab, something shop owners here welcome to bring and keep more businesses in business.
No, closing is definitely not an option. Fighting this is our option.
What are they made out of, sand?
The sharks began to circle. Liz was tanking. They didn't take her bait.
So I'm out.
I'm out.
So I'm out.
I'm out.
No deal. It's the way the cookie crumbles, almost.
Actually, we doubled the year after being on Shark Tank. So that was huge, and we had to add on
people and space and warehouse.
Now, several years later, Liz is still making a difference. The TV show producers checking in wanted her back for Beyond the Tank.
It's not scary facing the sharks. It's just a real, like a recap on what's happened since. Have you been successful?
Successful? Yes. Liz Lovely is now a national company, but it didn't come without facing some life-changing challenges.
You know, going through a divorce, being a single parent, juggling, the business and all of that together.
For 3 days, a 10-person Beyond the Tank crew followed Liz to tell her story beyond the odds.
They were all through my house, my business, and when they left, I was like, where is my posse?
So while swimming with the sharks can mean tanking, sometimes losing the deal becomes the best deal of all.
It was a really big year for me and learning, and it's been good. It's been crazy, but good.
Sometimes it's better not to win.